Why do art? What does it cost? I've been pondering this for a while now, especially in this age of AI. So I went to watch this movie, A Complete Unknown, the other day. It's the Bob Dylan biopic, who's arguably one of the greatest lyrical geniuses of our time, maybe any time. It raises the question of what the responsibility of an artist is. In the very beginning of the movie, Dylan is talking to a woman who mentions something about an artist finding herself through the hardships of her journey. But Dylan argues, does she find herself or does she simply become it? A different version of herself. Not a better version, but one that she chooses to be in that moment. So being an artist then is a choice. But even if you make that choice, what is your responsibility as an artist? The first responsibility of an artist is to perfect their medium. You find a master, you copy the master relentlessly, and you hope that in copying, it will imbibe you with the same skills that your master possesses. That in learning those skills, maybe you'll find a different version of yourself that you want to be. Some artists call it inspiration, others call it the muse. That's the first responsibility of an artist. Through mastery, evolving into something greater than yourself. Which brings up the question of authentic expression. The movie opens with Pete Seeger defending Woody Guthrie's right to make the music the way he wants to. Freedom of form, freedom of voice. And then we meet Dylan, young, hungry, still learning, imitating Woody, imitating Pete, absorbing the legends. But it doesn't take long. Dylan starts writing songs of his own. Lyrics that hit like sermons, poems that sound like prophecy, and just like that, he becomes the voice of a movement, the hope of folk. But Dylan begins to shift. He starts questioning what folk means to him. What kind of music do I want to make? Who decides what belongs? And the evolution begins. But not everyone is ready for it. The very people who once championed him begin to resist the change. The record companies, the festival organizers, even Pete. At the Newport Music Festival where Dylan is set to close, Pete comes to him with a metaphor, a plea. Use your music the right way, he says. Play the kind of music they expect. But Dylan hates labels. He doesn't want to be told what's right. Not by fans, not by record companies, not even by Pete. So he walks on stage with an electric guitar and he plays like a rolling stone. A song that doesn't sound like anything that came before it. Not folk, not protest, not clean, not quiet, and it crashes into the crowd. And they boo him. The same fans who once worshipped him turn their backs to him. But he doesn't flinch, he plays anyway. Because that's the second responsibility of an artist. To stay true to your evolving self, even when it threatens the very stage you stand upon. To disappoint their expectations, to outgrow their approval. To play your song even if they cover their ears. And in doing so, something else happens. Not a responsibility exactly, more like a result. If the first responsibility is to master your craft, and the second is to stay true to your evolving self, then the third is what happens because of that. You give something to the world. You become a symbol. A flicker of light for those who feel a burning inside them, but don't yet know what to do with it. You offer hope to the ones who want to change something but don't know what. To the ones who want to become but don't yet know how. By being an artist in the world, you feed that fire in others and you lift them up. But is there no cost to this? The movie also touches on the cost of being a great artist. And I think it's worth thinking about that. At the beginning of the movie, Dylan says something strange and true. That anyone who can get up on a stage and hold people's attention for a long time is a kind of a freak. Not in a bad way, not in a good way, just in a way that makes someone stand out. Frank Sinatra's voice, Margot Robbie's beauty, the 8-foot man in a carnival. They're all freaks, he says, and he hopes he's one too, because the freak is the one who gets noticed, the one who can hold the gaze of the crowd. And that comes at a cost. People ask Dylan, where do the songs come from? But he says, they're not really asking that. What they're asking is, why do the songs come to you and not to me? And the answer is they don't just come. We see it throughout the film. Dylan is obsessed with his guitar, obsessed with his songwriting. He's playing his guitar in every waking moment and sometimes running from sleep just to keep on playing. He's not waiting for the muse, he's chasing it, forcing it, pushing through the door to the unknown, one word at a time. And sometimes he's a jerk about it. He doesn't care about anything else. When he's playing, when he's writing, there's a moment where he tells a younger musician that he carries an extra 100 pounds of expectations that don't show up on the scale. Everyone wants him to be something, someone, and the other guy asks, "So, how do you sing with all that weight?" And Dylan replies, "I go to another place, a place where I'm a stranger." That line, man, it sits with me. This is the cost of being an artist. You have to obsess. You have to demand it from yourself, from the universe. You don't wait for greatness, you chisel it out of yourself. And if you're lucky enough to be a great artist in your time, the world will try to own a version of you, a narrow sliver of who you are. And you'll have to decide whether you become that version or remain a stranger to it, even if it means walking away from what they gave you. Because it's not enough to become an artist, you have to remain one. And that's the cost. So I wonder, why do art? What does it cost? Maybe because the answer to one lives inside the other. And it's in that pursuit that we do art.